had nothing to do with the organization. If you look at the amount of times during the wait. Hold on, I shut up and let you talk. James, I shut up and let you talk. James, I shut up and let you talk. Let me have the same respect. Beyond that shit, what you have is that he drove.
Hold on.
He drove anything. Jesus Christ.
God. Welcome back to All Sorts of Sports.
All sorts of sports. I look like the Kool-Aid man. I wanted to get ahead of it.
I wasn't going to say none of that. I didn't even think it.
It's like me. I'm in a Kool-Aid pool over here. You know what I mean? Just like red with the red.
I think about red shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. So, I think this is episode 78.
79?
Yeah, I think we had 277s for some reason, but I like the number 7.
There's no 277. There is a lost episode.
Yes.
There is a lost episode, but I'm going to confirm that it is 79. Yes, because like always, I'm on top of it.
I'm on top of it.
You had to confirm, so you weren't.
Oh, shut up. I told you to start writing it on your goddamn list. You should know.
I don't have a fucking book.
I write it every time.
Well, it's because you're in a
motel. Write it after we say it.
Are you in a Motel 6?
You're in a Motel 6 off of the Turnpike.
Does the name of your hotel have motel in it?
No.
Does it have the word hotel in it?
No.
Is it an N?
No.
Okay.
Does it have so no red roofs?
Could.
Huh?
You're doing better than you could.
I'm still frustrated at this place. But
was Trump's name ever associated with the establishment you're inside?
No. Thank God. But all right.
It could have been worse.
Let's get to it could have been worse. We could have lost Messi. Oh, guess what? We did.
Oh.
All right. So this has been an ongoing story for the past since June 30th, when Messi's contract expired and he became a free agent. Don't do that, Ryan. Be quiet.
I have a violin back here.
You're gonna go play it because I'm gonna need it. All right. So actually, no, I'm not really. So Messi's gone as of now. There's not really much hope in regards to him coming back. Real Madrid's president, Florentino Perez, went to Barcelona to meet with Laporta, our president, essentially to discuss next steps in regards to the Super League, because that's mainly what this is about. We had somewhat of an agreement with Messi. Well, we had an agreement with Messi to come back. And then La Liga said, no, it's not going to work. It was a CVV or CCV, one of those acronyms or whatever. They agreed to buy 10% of La Liga. And then like they would have some sort of control over like the media rights or something like that for like the teams for the next 50 years, which is nuts. And they were going to give teams like 207 million euros. And then I forgot a percentage that can be allocated towards like signings and everything. So we thought we had that in the bag, and it's like, all right, cool. If we have that, Messi is going to resign. Great. Laporta said that it was supposed to be Messi would get paid for 2 years over a span of 5 years. So, and he also took a 50% pay cut. They didn't even like stretch it out or give us any type of hope. He just came out and said, hey, Messi can't continue. It's not going to work. Messi was heartbroken. The fans are heartbroken. I saw a tweet that said 85% of Barcelona fans are now free agents like Messi. That shit was funny. I still support the club just because it's a club. I do not blame Laporta for this. It's more so the fact that the way that the club was ran in the previous regime just fucked everything up because we should not be $1 billion in debt. And wherever Messi goes, I'm gonna watch him play, but I'm still gonna watch Barcelona like first and foremost. But I'm still gonna watch Messi play wherever he plays.
It will be with Paris Saint-Germain.
Yep. There's like rumors coming out saying that like Mbappe is gonna leave if Messi shows up, but I don't see that happening.
No.
Not this year, especially.
Yeah, they're so stacked at this point.
Yeah. Well, I have a question for you then. Like, who has a bigger dream team? PSG or City?
City lost today to Leicester, so I'm gonna go with PSG. They lost in a cup game to Leicester.
But was all the starters playing?
Yes.
Okay.
Iheanacho penalty.
Well, I mean,
89th
like
minute.
PSG has the better stars, of course, like the star players. But if you look at City's like first team and reserves, they're all fucking starters.
You can only make so many subs, right? So,
and I think Bernardo Silva wants to leave too and go to Barcelona, which would be interesting. That's not going to happen because Griezmann's going to fill his spot now.
PSG is going for it this year, as they should. They're playing.
They got Ramos too, man.
They'll win the Farmers League, but it's Champions League aspirations for them. And come on, it's the dream team of Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi, right?
Yeah.
So
Maria, Paredes,
Keylor Navas,
Ramos, Donnarumma.
Donnarumma is a backup goalkeeper. Look, if they don't win it this year, like they should all just retire. Like you're never going to get a better chance than they got this year. Although I did notice that they were down 1-0 to some team I've never heard. And now they're up like 3-1. So,
I mean, and then Messi's going to take number 19. He's not taking 10 away from Neymar, even though Neymar offered it up to him. Cool. But he's like, no.
Oh, yeah, because
19.
That's his number at Barcelona. So
what?
Wasn't it 10?
Who? Messi?
Messi.
Yeah, but before,
he didn't
wore 10, he wore 19.
Yeah, so he's just going back to his old number.
Yeah.
That's cool. Hey, man, sorry. I know that.
I mean, like,
it's got to be tough.
The first day, like, the first few hours, I was in shock. Then I got really upset. Then I started to look at the analytics of it as to why, like, this type of shit happened, how it's going to affect the club. Then from there, I went to, like, what's next? Because looking at it, like, you know how pissed ESPN is?
The 4 stages
They just bought La Liga. They just bought the rights to show La Liga, and now Messi's not there. So, yeah, and Nike's upset too because they sponsored. So, I mean,
hey man, there's something in one of those contracts somewhere that says if Messi's not playing, then we can get out. So, I'm interested to see how that ends up too.
Yeah, I mean, Messi was there for what, 21 years? Because he started when he was 13 or something like that. It's nuts, but I mean,
and like I was saying, his contract, just to see him play for another couple of years, was not going to be good for your team to begin with. So it'll be a little bit of a rebuild. But you guys got
if he was falling off, I would understand.
Right. But I'm just going forward, like that contract would have prevented you from getting a bunch of young guys.
No, it didn't.
No, but it would have.
Go to people who got.
You couldn't have even gotten Messi, right? Because the contract was too much. So it's just.
Nah, but I'm saying, look at the people we have. Like it's one, like, because you guys have a good farm system. I mean, academy as well, right? Yeah. So it's like,
but we never use them. We would just use them as pieces to get trash players from the French league.
No. We actually use the players. Like you see how Pedri is like establishing himself. And you can't forget about Ansu Fati.
If he can stay healthy. But like I said, Gavi. Now these guys have to get burned because Messi's not there. So
yeah, but I mean,
I'm just excited to watch PSG all year.
Burned even when Messi was there, but now it's like the pressure's on them.
I'm just gonna watch PSG.
Just gonna move
all year.
Huh?
I'm gonna watch PSG all year.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's gonna be fun.
I mean, if he goes there, if he goes to City, if he goes to fucking Inter Miami, which is a rumor that's going around,
I mean, he'll end up there, but
Eventually.
it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean,
for me, not so much for you.
No, I still get to watch him play. Like, it's not something where I'm choosing one player over the club.
You've gone through the 4 stages of grief already. That's good.
You see how quick that shit went through?
If she can't be happy with me, I'm just glad to see that she's happy somewhere.
No, there's a difference.
Like, no, I know. All right, look.
There's certain players that I
Brendan.
There's certain players that I wish that I would have seen play, and I'm not gonna give up on. I'm not gonna forfeit that opportunity to watch him play now just because I'm bitter about the exit. Even though the exit has nothing really to do with him, it's more about the business side and how La Liga is trying to be run like an American company now. So, I mean, it is what it, I understand it because I've been working in business for a decade now. So, yeah. Go ahead, KDot, my bad.
When the news broke, my phone went off like crazy. Few people were just wondering. I think Brendan, who's been on the podcast before, immediately asked, "Hey, is anybody on the pod a Barcelona fan?" I was like, I mean, if you paid attention at all, you know that at least one of the guys are. He's like, "Oh yeah, when you guys talk soccer, I don't pay attention." But who is it? I was like, James. He's like, "Is he crying? Is he crying?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." And the message that he sent, I was like, he's either, we either need to put an APB out to go find him, or he's crying in a corner somewhere. But I don't know. Look, big story. I know that everybody's talking about it, and I still don't understand a lot of the details on how it went down. Even when you talked about it just now, I still don't quite get it. But no, all I heard was
backdoor shit going on.
All I heard is that soccer's trying to be more American, and I'm all here for it. Let's go.
But it was so big that my dad, who doesn't pay attention to sports at all, forwarded me. I learned about it at like 8 a.m. He forwarded at like 2 p.m. an article that I guess got pushed to his phone. He's like, "This is a big deal, isn't it?" I was like, yeah. It's like Tom Brady playing for like the CFL big 10 years ago. So, yeah, I mean,
I was thinking
it's one of those things that there's no going back at this point. The decision's been made.
Well, so there's still a slight chance.
No, there is zero chance. Stop it.
I'm not having hope for it. I'm not having hope for it, but
there is no chance. There's no chance.
Why?
He's already signed for PSG for 3 years. That's the end of his career.
He didn't sign yet. The fuck are you talking about?
It was confirmed
when?
A couple hours ago.
Oh, I missed that.
Lionel Messi agrees to join PSG.
Yeah. Did he sign anything? No, because his father's supposed to show up in a couple days.
Well, they already told all the players at PSG that he was there. So.
Yeah, you can say that. You know how long they've been saying that? Yeah, Messi signing.
Okay, I'm done.
What's Camp Nou?
That is the stadium. That's the stadium.
The stadium for where? PSG?
Barca.
No, Barcelona.
Barca. Oh, that should be an interesting press conference. He's got a call from her.
Oh yeah. I mean, they've had multiple press conferences, but we'll see whatever the fuck happens. But all right, so. Oh, is Messi's press conference?
For me, Barcelona.
Wait, is it Messi's press conference or is Barcelona's? Oh, Messi. All right. That's the farewell shit then. All right. So I was wrong about Messi staying for the longest time, right, Ryan? Because that's all the reports I was saying. KDot was also wrong about Kawhi and CP3 staying with their teams.
I just want to say that if someone's saying that it's not official because someone signed, then I think that I'm in the right to use your exact same argument. Kawhi hasn't signed shit. So I want to hear you not. Right? Yeah, I was wrong about that. Okay. But I didn't think of it.
But in all over that.
But no, here's, in all honesty, the CP3 thing, even if you go back on the pod, which is what I did listen to, because I think that on the text thread that we have about this podcast, everybody just likes to try to dunk on me, even though they're not quite accurate, because I don't think people listen to what's happening during the pod when it happens.
I think the main dunker, he bowed out today.
Yeah, here's a guy who's got COVID, who's usually on the pod, but you mean you don't quite know unless you've been around for the last 3 weeks? Who cares? It is like 3 weeks he's been on this pod, the little black guy that's in the bottom corner.
Hold on,
like,
it's
whatever.
Beyond disrespectful.
Whatever. He has his own show on the podcast. Thank you very much. He owes somebody something. Let me talk my shit.
On the fucker.
I didn't wish anything on anything. I'm just saying he might have it. Who gives a shit? There's a difference between me wishing it on him compared to saying I don't care if he has it. Like, there's a difference there. Plus, I told him I hope he gets well, which is true-ish. All right, what CP3, the deal that I had was that I said that if I was Phoenix, I don't think I'd bring him back. I didn't say, as far as CP3 himself, I can understand him wanting to re-sign. Like, of course he'd want to re-sign. But if you're Phoenix, to tie up that money with him right now, I just don't see, because I think that when you have Devin Booker and everybody has gotten to a certain extent and got to where it is they've been in the playoffs, Chris Paul was a big part of it, but I also think that he taught them a good amount. And I think right now it's okay to move on. That was always my prediction as far as that goes. Kawhi, I still don't believe it until he actually is legitimately back. Because I mean, we all know Kawhi is a conniving, scheming motherfucker, as we saw before he went to the Clippers.
And the Knicks are going for it. So
I'm just saying, until it's official, like you were saying, as far as Messi goes, I'm not 100% saying Kawhi is anything because, shit, you saw what he did with the Lakers and everybody laughed.
I think the fact that he tore his ACL, like
that's the other thing, is like he's not in a rush, right? Like he can just say, "Look, I don't think I'm going to play this year anyway." So really,
I don't think he's playing.
And he can wait to see what teams are doing to make that determination of, oh shit, these guys are going for it, or I'll fit in well here, etc. And just real quick, as far as basketball is going, I know we're probably going to talk about the U.S. basketball team, but Patty Mills, a name that doesn't come out of my mouth much because it's Patty Mills. They gave Australia gave Slovenia the business.
Yeah.
Patty Mills dunked on the entire team. He had 42 points and 9 assists.
Oh, I was like, he didn't actually dunk because
Patty Mills. No, he dunked in the metaphorical dunk.
Yeah, I got you. Dropped 42. Matisse Thybulle had a good game.
Cool. So back to the topic at hand.
Sorry.
Steph staying and re-signing with Golden State is also
$7 billion.
While we know Ryan wouldn't do that because he has his own personal vendetta against Steph Curry.
For no reason.
For no reason. I was actually
kind of the game of basketball. Anyway,
I was a little surprised by it. And the only reason I was a little surprised by it was that I thought Steph would want to leave more options open for himself. Just because, like, right now, if you look at the situation in Golden State, I think everybody's really anointing them or expecting them to be top 3, top 4 in the West coming into this year. But I also think that there's a big if in this thing when it comes to Golden State. And I just don't want anybody to take it for granted. Klay Thompson hasn't played in 2 years, basically.
I have a feeling Klay Thompson's going to KD it and come back and be
possibly.
Not only that, but like look at the draft picks they just had in the past 2 years. Like, so they have an injection of youth talent.
They do.
Now.
They do.
So it's like this is the spot you would want to be in.
I mean, but that's the thing is like I can understand Steph making a decision. I just thought he might wait.
No, I mean,
$200 million.
Yeah,
that's another thing. It's
if
fucking
I
money.
Have 1 year, like he would go somewhere else to try to do the same shit that he's already done in Golden State, and I was like, I'll just stay here and just do it again.
To a certain degree. I mean, I just want I don't want anybody to take for granted the Klay Thompson thing. Like, I just think that Klay, as far as what he does offensively with that injury, he should still be able to do that. Spot up, shoot, right? Yeah. But on defense, which Klay has always been a very integral part on that team, defensively, the lateral movement and stuff, to me, is like I just if he's not this, they still got Wiggins, but I mean Wiggins is still my cousin number one, and outside of being my cousin, I also know if I'm looking across the league, that's one motherfucker that just 80% of the time you can tell he just doesn't give a fuck. Like, it's just what it is. He just doesn't care.
I feel like that's how he was in Minnesota.
It runs in the family.
I think different. Golden State, you see it a little bit different because the expectation of him. Like, you see Steph, Draymond's not going to be okay with you not giving your all. Like, you can't even give the ability to not. So I think that there's a little bit at gunpoint. All right, also, I'm going to get the job done as best as I can.
All the other pieces around it, it's like, all right, this is something.
I hope so. I really hope.
And he said the reason he came back is he doesn't want his wife and kids to have to move again. So that's not like, it doesn't instill confidence in me for Golden State. But look, Steph Curry's not even the best on the Subway commercials he's in. So I really struggle to see, like, get the bag. I get it. He ruined basketball. I get it. He's probably the best shooter of all time. I get it.
He is.
But
it's not probable.
It's like Golden State being a good team is good for basketball, but they're not they didn't do anything. There's no wow factor in anything they've done so far.
Okay, we'll see.
It's good. Like, it's good for watching basketball when they're good.
The rookies that they picked up.
The rookies are unproven until I see.
I've watched them in summer league. Like, it looks good in summer league, so we'll see how it is in regular season. You can't just write them off right now.
I feel I'm sorry.
MVPs in the G League mean nothing to me because it doesn't always translate, right?
No.
There are professionals who are just the best at being second best, right? The Golden State Warriors need to be the best because they have the team that they have right now. They have an unknown in Clay. They have Steph Curry, who has phenomenal games and then has duds. And when he has duds, they get blown out by 50. You need a better core team.
He had like two. See, you can't keep doing that shit, man. Like, Steph Curry shot 3 for 16.
They make the playoffs.
Shot 3 for 16, and then it's like, but then the next 5 games, he shot like 55% from 3 and 50% from the field.
Did they make the playoffs?
They were in the playing game, and no.
Okay.
Like Golden State,
you had that smoke for everybody else.
Oh yeah, that whole team. That's what I'm saying. He needs to.
No, I'm not talking about the Warriors. I'm talking about everybody else that just didn't make it in the West. There's a lot of good teams.
Not with the best player in the league on their team.
I didn't say Steph was the best player in the league.
I think none of us picked him at number 1.
Keem's right. I'm sorry. I'll back off on that.
Look, Golden State right now, I get it. There's a lot to be excited about, especially if Clay comes back and he's anywhere near as good as he was. Which, like I said, as far as from an offensive standpoint, he should still be able to do that. I'm still a little curious defensively. But when you got Draymond, look, at the end of the day, this is a team that without Clay, and once again, Clay is an unknown if we're just going with like facts, right? That wasn't enough to make the playoffs last year. So where you're hoping that Wiseman, Wiggins, and all those guys take another step forward, which is a good prediction, right? Like they're not going to get worse, and that Steph is going to have a little more help, and that if you have at least another offensive powerhouse like Clay on the court, you're automatically better. If he can live up to what he was defensively before the injury, they're easily top 3 seed, I think, in the West. They just have that much talent. But you're right. Going forward for Golden State, when you have Steph, there's at least enough pieces to be excited about just on the mid-tier. But, I mean, look, they're still a far a ways away. There could still be some moves that happen. Yep. With Washington, I know that Beal's name keeps coming up. Well, I don't agree with it. I've talked about it on the pod at length, and I don't think Beal wants to go. If he does, Golden State seems to be one of the top prospects there. You also have, which another topic I think on the list is Ben.
You can go into it now.
All right, so Ben Simmons is. Well, I'll let you intro it up, and then I'll bring it together.
All right. Well, this topic was brought to us by KDot.
Well, not really.
Yeah, you brought it up.
You brought it up in the text thread.
Yeah, you did. So it was brought to us by you.
No, you brought it up in the text thread. I got attacked for the way that I was talking about it in the text thread.
Oh, no. I mean, I think you started it, though.
I did not start it.
The hate on KDot is brought to you by James.
I'm not hating on KDot. We're just talking.
It was anytime that I say that I'm always right, or that I'm right about something, or that I'm loud and wrong about something, nobody will let me live.
Yeah, you should. All right. So
you're speaking to me from a crack den, and he's got COVID. So what?
I'm still speaking the truth, so it don't matter.
Crack bear
anywhere.
Crack and B, the new app you can find. You just get a good discounted jersey room.
Yep, and it's sponsoring this segment on Ben Simmons by KDot. All right,
whatever.
So Ben Simmons, a report came out that Ben Simmons has cut off all communication with the Sixers, and apparently he's getting hate for it. And I kind of you guys shat on him, not you, KDot specifically, but like the team and the players and the people he's supposed to, Embiid, Doc Rivers, and they all shat on him in the press conference right after. Like, there's no denying any of that.
I'm actually curious. I'm sort of pushing back a little bit. In what way did they shit on him?
They made him the scapegoat.
How? I'm asking. What did they do and what did they say to make them the scapegoat of that?
Doc said, I don't know if he's going to be or if he can be the point guard of this team.
Right.
That doesn't instill confidence if you're a Ben Simmons.
None whatsoever. And as a coach, you don't say that about your quote unquote star point guard.
Unless you feel like shitting on him.
Don't plan on him being there. And then you look at the way they asked Embiid questions in regards to the play. Like Embiid brought up, he's like, yeah, when we let he said, what moment did you feel like you guys weren't coming back? Well, when we passed up a wide open lay or a dunk, and like when you do that as the running mate of your team, there's not really much coming back from that.
I mean, I would say that it coming from the coach and it coming from one of your teammates are two different things.
And you get both. All
right. Now, Doc Rivers still gets some smoke from me, and I've said it on the pod after he did that press conference that him and Ben were tied to the hip because not a week before Doc had that press conference, he's defending Ben Simmons and his style of play and the way he was doing it, and then he switched up, which is Doc, not the organization, Doc and Ben. Now, outside of that, Joel, I'm sorry, but if I see as clear as day as anybody else on the court that my man gave up on me and the team in the middle of the game, and the nicest thing I can do about it is when asked, yeah, I've never seen that before. That's what he said. I've never seen that before. He didn't shit on him. He could have shit on him. If that was Jordan or Kobe, they would have shat on that boy. If it was anybody else, they would have. If it was KG would have knocked his ass out mid-game. They did everything they possibly could do to satiate Ben. And I'm also speaking as a Ben Simmons 100% sympathizer 100% of the goddamn time up until now. The playoffs, it's it. That last playoffs has gotten rid of anything and any sort of rooting that you can do for the man. You have an organization that is trying right now to move you, potentially. And what do? You end up being the asshole that releases a statement basically saying that you're not, because it's coming from him in clutch, that he is not speaking to the organization. Now, who does that help? When he's in the backseat trying to say that he wants to go to Gold State, which is the link to the last story, right? What leverage do you have, Ben? And what leverage do you create? But here's the other thing. From an organizational standpoint, Daryl Morey's been doing what? Been getting laughed off the phone. He talked to Boston about Tatum. They laughed him off the phone. He talks to Miami trying to get him. They laugh him off the phone. Well, and then what does Ben do? What does Ben do? Is Ben helping out the situation at all? No, because what does Ben want? Ben wants out. But now what is Daryl Morey doing? You cocksucking son of a bitch. All you had to do was shut the fuck up. All you had to do was shut up. Go somewhere. Then what do they do on Instagram? They show him playing against a 5'6" fat man with his slow ass book. I'm in the gym working. Nigga, what? What? Then the next video is you getting in and out of your Ferrari or Lambo or whatever? What? If anything, he should have released a statement saying, I am so sorry for my performance in the playoffs. I'm going back to try to work on this. He could have said, hey, there's something wrong, as everybody can clearly see, and I'm going to try to work on this shit. What you don't do is you don't completely degrade what little trade value you have. You have none now. And now you think you have leverage, motherfucker? You don't.
Right,
you have none.
Ben Simmons playing with the Sixers next year.
He can't.
So what are you going to do? So what's going to happen?
What's going to happen is that if Ben can shut the fuck up, they can
let's say he doesn't shut the fuck up. Where is he going?
If he doesn't shut the fuck up at this particular point, I don't know where he goes, honestly. Like, there are two teams that I thought made the most sense right now with as far down the leverage. Because I see Daryl Morey and Clutch and Ben are playing chicken off a fucking cliff, right? And if I was looking at two teams, I thought Sacramento or Chicago probably made the two most sense. You had
Chicago now.
You had what? The Zach LaVine?
Nah, just because of all the other pieces they got.
Yeah, but they still have room. And with Zach LaVine, if they tried to move a Zach LaVine for a Ben Simmons, right now you have a situation where LaVine has one of the max deal in Chicago, and Chicago's not giving it to him. you have a situation where I actually think Ben on that team could make some sense and could get kind of interesting. If I'm also looking at Sacramento, as far as the Sacramento moves, I think there are a few guys that could leave Sacramento and go to Philadelphia. And
wait, you said Ben on Chicago?
Ben on Chicago.
That would make no sense to me.
Why do you say that?
Where is he playing?
He wouldn't play.
They got DeRozan too.
I know they got DeRozan, and DeRozan is and Lonzo Ball, and that's what I'm saying is that right now what you're looking at with Ben is he's not going to play the same point guard situation that he was.
You're saying put him at the 4.
I'm saying you're going to look at him more like that Draymond role, and if you have him still being able to do things, you know what Lonzo does that Ben doesn't do a point guard?
Shoots the ball.
So as far so that's my thing is
White too, by the way.
So if you got a situation where Ben can even move the ball up court sometimes, at least they know when they get it off to Lonzo's not afraid to do what? Shoot the fucking ball.
Or you could just send him to Dallas for KP.
No.
Oh, God, would you stop?
Stop.
No.
Shut up.
I'm not stopping.
Here's the thing. All Ben had to do was go to Melbourne, go into their 2-week quarantine. It's like, what, 14 hours, 16-hour difference? I don't know. He could just been like, oh, I tweeted that tomorrow. And then, like, this whole thing would have been over. He has put himself in a position where he's coming off just a historically bad playoffs, just god awful. And it's so bad that he actually made his team worse. Your superstar has made your team worse. It's almost
the only issue from all this conversation we're having.
He quit. So
he quit. Okay.
He quit on his team. We saw that. We watched it happen. And his team watched it happen. Where are you going to put him except for a shitty trade with another shitty player in which, look, if he can't play with the Sixers, which it doesn't look like he can at this point going forward, where does he go? Where does he go where he gets his mojo back? You know, I don't see anywhere at this point. And the worst thing that can happen, I think, is that he's on the Sixers next year and disgruntled.
Yeah, but the only part from this whole talk that's that I feel like is being overlooked is I don't feel like we're giving the organization enough of the blame in this. Like, we haven't spoken really too much about the organization.
How?
Huh? What do you mean?
How are they to blame? How's Tom Morey organization blamed for this?
Listen, calm down. Stop getting upset. Just calm down.
Just speak. Just what is it?
Stop talking and I'll speak.
Stop prefacing and just speak.
Shut up. So the first part about this whole shit in regards to the fall of Ben Simmons' value was, of course, like the passed up dunk, right? Where he passed it to his teammate because he thought somebody was behind him was going to block the shot. Then you have the press conference after. You can't act like that didn't have a big part in the drop in his value.
Right. But then his team tried to do him a solid and get him out and get him somewhere where he could succeed.
Daryl Morey's been on the phone every fucking day. Outside of that, even in the playoffs, asking for anything to try to show you that the dude would still worth something. And now Ben is shooting his own self in the foot because now he wants to deal with a disgruntled guy who hasn't shot a basketball in 5 years. And then, not to mention, even if you look at it's not just what he did in the playoffs as far as getting rid of the passing up the dunk. Yes, it's the highlight, right? But if you look at every other statistical measure, he took 7 shots in the fourth quarter. 7. That had nothing to do with the organization. If you look at the amount of times during the wait. Oh, I shut up and let you talk. James, I shut up and let you talk. James, I shut up and let you talk. Let me have the same respect. Beyond that shit, what you have is that he drove.
Hold on.
He drove. See anything. Jesus Christ. Guys. He drove to the basket 11.
I can't see anything. Okay. I can't see you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't see you. Go ahead. My bad.
You couldn't see us, but you were making eye contact with both of us the entire time. But whatever.
I'm
beyond that shit, outside of those things, you have been even in the regular season before he got to the playoffs, used to drive 11 to 12 times a game. In the playoffs, it dropped down to 5. Giannis has had problems with free throws. Shaq had problems with free throws. Did either one of those guys change the way they played the game when it came to the playoffs? No. What did Ben do? He bitched the fuck up. And outside, if it's a mental thing, if it's a mental block, if it's a hitch in his step, if it's just the fact that Ben doesn't want to not look cool, it's on him. And there's everybody trying to help him out with getting him the fuck out of Philly if he doesn't want to be there. And what he can't do is continue to destroy his trade value. That's the only thing they have going for him, is he's a defensive presence and he can pass the ball really well. But you know what no other team wants to deal with? If we got to pay him $100 million to be a souped-up Draymond, what they don't want is a disgruntled little asshole that won't work on himself. And that's what he's doing now. You got Joel Embiid trying to reach him by phone and he ain't picking up the phone? What is that? You got Daryl Morey speaking to everybody around the league talking about how much value he is worth. Not saying I'm trying to cast him out. Daryl Morey, day before yesterday, posted a photo of what it is that starting five did. The starting five was the best in the league when they were on the court. Daryl Morey's trying to say I still have value. The only thing is that because of what Ben's doing, everybody looks around and knows, Daryl, you've got no leverage either, buddy, and he's slipping every day. You can't bring him back. And all Ben has to do is be a good fucking teammate. Shut the fuck up. And he can't do it. So now he's not even going to get what he wants. Or if he does, guess what it's going to be? Out of complete fucking spite in a situation that he doesn't want to be in. Why? Because it's on you now. And I said this as a dude that defended the shit out of Ben week after week and still caught the shit. There's no excuses anymore. He gave up.
He's going to end up like in Orlando as like a six-man.
That'd be a good look for his ass. And I don't think that's going to end up where he is. He wants to release through the press that I want to go to Golden State. What? You make a request that you want to go to Golden State? Like, what do you have, sir?
Here's the thing. And I'll give James Harden a little bit of smoke, because I think what we've seen is just in the recent years is if you're disgruntled, you get what you want, right? And there's the James Harden path to the Nets. But the issue here is that James Harden is 40 points and 10 boards and 8 assists. And Ben Simmons is not that right now. So I think he saw the blueprint for forcing your way out, I guess. But in a completely different circumstances, right? He's got a GM that's trying to help him. He's got a team that's trying to help him. And Harden felt like, this place, the GM's not helping me. I'm going to get out. But they're on completely different levels, right?
Right.
So I will tell Ben Simmons, if I saw him, take a good look in the mirror and just see who you are as a player right now, and know that that is not the way you should be conducting yourself to get what you want. But I kind of see why he's doing it. It doesn't make an excuse for why he's doing it, but just go to Australia and shut up for like 4 weeks, man. And you'll end up maybe on Golden State. Maybe if you just help yourself, just go and all I want to see on Instagram for the next 4 weeks is you shooting free throws. I want a live of you 8 hours a day shooting over that fat fuck, whoever. You can call me. I'll come stand there and I'll wave in your face for 8 hours a day.
Slowest pull up ever. Talk about I'm in the gym working. What?
I want to see you at the free throw line for 8 hours a day on Instagram Live.
If there's one thing that I will give James here credit for, there is one thing that you can absolutely blame Daryl Morey for. You can blame me for too. He should have moved heaven and fucking earth to get Harden.
That's talking about this.
I get Houston. Houston said no. Like, we all know Houston backed out of it at the end because they weren't looking for it heads up. But the Ben thing right now, there's nothing good that you can actually say out of that playoff run. I mean, like it was on paper during the season, they had the best starting five in the league.
All right, Ben. Just shut up.
Please.
Superstar, Australian superstar. Remember that? Isn't Kyrie also, is he Australian?
No.
Is that right? I found out he's from somewhere I didn't know he was from, so give me a second. Why did this come out with Kyrie Irving boyfriend? That's not right.
All right, so I'm gonna have to watch that segment back.
Yeah,
on the pod because I couldn't hear anything you guys were saying.
Kyrie was born in Melbourne, Australia.
No shit.
I had no fucking idea.
fuck's sake.
Which is probably why he thinks that the Earth is flat. But anyway, let's keep going. Can you see us now?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Because you guys always hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
So why the fuck didn't y'all respond? All right, whatever.
Because you had yourself on mute.
I've been off mute.
I think you were
for like
on mute.
The past like 20, 30 seconds. All right, cool. So I'm gonna have to watch that segment back because I couldn't hear half the shit you guys are saying.
Oh, yeah, we were just railing on Ben Simmons. Don't worry about it.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, it's not like he don't deserve it. So it is what it is. All right.
Wait, we're all in agreement. Let's give ourselves all a little golf clap.
Yeah.
That never happens.
That's beautiful.
And Daryl Morey's a dumbass for trying to trade for all that shit too. That was funny.
Yeah.
The shit he won.
I want everybody. I want your starting five.
It's like, fam, you're not even trying to actually make a deal here.
Yeah.
I think he is. That's the thing, is that right now you got to realize Ben has no value. He's none. Like you can't pay $100-something million for better Draymond. It doesn't work. You can't do that.
Oh yeah, that is his deal.
And what Morey's trying to do is show Ben that he thinks he has value. He's not
right.
You can't go in and ask for just Bam Adebayo for Ben Simmons, because then you were showing Ben, I don't think you're worth anything. If you're trying to straight swap Jason Tatum for Ben Simmons, you're showing Ben Simmons, I think you're still a superstar. I think you're still number one guy.
Defensively, he is. But I feel like he just needs to get out of Philly. There's something wrong with Philly.
I don't think there's anything. I think it's him.
I don't disagree. I was here last weekend. I can tell you so many things that are wrong with Philly.
All right, hold on. Y'all not going to put me in a position where I'm saying positive things about the city of Philadelphia. I'm not going there. But what I am saying is that
the last 2 point guards.
I saw a grown man spit on a child.
Yeah. I don't know what the hex is that's on the organization for that.
And the same thing with there is one part that somebody brought up on Twitter, and I was like, this is like, it made me not give Ben Simmons that much of a credit. Lonzo Ball had one of the worst fucking shots ever. Mm-hmm. He worked on it. His shot motion got better.
Yeah,
over time. Ben Simmons still
hasn't tried.
Yeah, hasn't shot the ball.
He just hasn't even tried.
And this is what you remember when Markelle Fultz had the hiccups. I don't know how any of us can forget that.
Oh.
Yeah.
You went, and he got drafted in 2014.
And he went to Orlando.
He worked on his shot after
he had to get out of there.
But it's the stories you hear that come out of Philadelphia with Ben and his circle, which is, I know I dropped Clutch Sports' name earlier. I know, but we
did say that. Bring that up. Yeah.
I know I dropped Clutch Sports' name in there. I don't even know if Rich Paul or anything can do anything about it, because if I'm Clutch, I'm not telling Ben to do any of this shit. I don't think that's it. I think Ben is just being his own bullheaded ass self, which is what they always said. Why do you think Jimmy Butler couldn't fucking wait to not re-sign in Philly? And it looked like the perfect fucking spot. JJ Redick gone. Everybody just fucking let's go.
Said the same thing in Minnesota with Andrew Wiggins and
the dude. You guys, there's nobody here holding this dude accountable.
Yeah,
and it ain't going to fucking work out. And this is what's happening. You got Joel Embiid is playing tennis with fucking Daryl Morey yesterday and the day before yesterday, and trying to call up Ben, and Ben ain't picking up the phone. Dog, you're not serious about anything right now. What you're doing,
Joel Embiid, like in terms of him trying to talk to Joel Embiid, I understand if you don't want to. That makes sense to me.
No, it makes sense if it's in a vacuum. It's not in a vacuum. And even if you're going based off of what he said in the press conference, if you're Ben, you're hat in hand. This is what it is. This is responsibility, sir.
My bad.
This is not. This is my feelings are fucking hurt. Yeah, no, it's you fucked up. It's on you. It's on you. You take responsibility now and be a fucking man about it. What he's doing is not, I need a new situation. It's, I'm running the fuck away. I'm running away.
All right. So you said, when you're saying in a vacuum, you just meant the shit with Joel Embiid, just not what he does, what he's doing in a whole.
Exactly.
Right. We don't know outside of that one thing, right? I'm sure.
But with Embiid, if I'm Ben Simmons and Embiid's trying to call me, fuck you.
But it's everybody in organization. If it's everybody in organization, you're trying to call and say, Ben,
right?
We're trying to move you.
That's all.
Yeah, and Embiid has already forgiven you for giving up in one of the biggest moments of his life too. It's not just about you, Ben. And he's past that. He's past that. He's trying to help you as a friend, as a teammate. Get in touch with the people who are also trying to help you, and you're telling them to go fuck themselves. That's childish.
Ryan, that to me is the biggest thing. Is like if you find yourself in any one of those situations, right? Mm-hmm. If you're Joel, I don't want to talk to Ben. I don't want to fucking talk to Ben. I'm not trying to talk to him. Like, if I'm Ben, if I'm Ben, like, if you put yourself in Ben's shoes, if you're Ben, if you have a modicum of self-respect, you are trying to answer the phone as soon as you can to apologize for the shit that you did. But you're not responsible because you're not fucking doing anything the right way. You're not.
And like, he's still very young. What is he? 24, 25? But like, who in his camp is not helping him right now? Shame on you as well.
It just sucks.
Shame on all of you.
He has, and I've said it time and time again, he could be Magic fucking Johnson of this generation. And he just won't. And I'm done.
I'm not. Send his ass to Dallas. We get him.
Do you care more about KP or Ben? You care more about getting rid of KP than you do care about getting Ben. Is that accurate?
Not really. Just looking at the landscape of what we could get for KP, just based on the situation.
But KP can shoot. Why would you want to get rid of him?
Because we need defense, number one. Number two, there's a strained relationship between KP and Luka, which Luka is more important.
And you think bringing in a guy who won't talk to his best friend Embiid is going to make it work?
I don't think they were best friends, though. I don't think they ever were. Like, if you look at all the different stories that came out about them, they were like two factions in the same locker room.
Ben doesn't have any friends in that locker room. He never has.
You think him and Luka are just going to do this?
Overseas? Yeah. They're both from overseas. And
I think Ben doesn't
have to bring the ball down the court and shoot.
Ben's going to run into an issue with a lot of players, period, in the NBA. Ben's going to run into a lot of issues with players in the NBA that just want you to make sure that you're working hard. True. Like, there's one thing if you show up on game day, if you're Iverson, practice, even though that was blown out of proportion, but when you show up, you can never question his heart on the court.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that Ben now, for the longest time, has gotten the benefit of doubt. But after what he did during this entire playoff run,
on the defensive side, he's all in. But like
on the defensive side, yeah. But on the defensive side, he did some things even in the playoffs. I'm like, yeah, that's why I love this dude. But you can't shrink that badly. He changed his entire game out of fear. Yeah, that's not something that Giannis did. It's not something that Shaq did. It's not anything that anybody struggles with free throws will do. Not if you're supposed to be that talented. He's relying on the same shit.
That's the thing. I don't think he is.
My thing is that Ben's size and his athleticism. He's relying on the same things he relied on ever since he first picked up a basketball. He's just not evolving his game.
It's a less talented, different sported Dwayne Haskins.
I don't speak on Dwayne yet, buddy. No, that's not over.
I watched him yesterday.
But what has he done
Thursday?
in the NFL?
Yeah.
He has not done anything in the NFL.
Okay. I'm just saying, I don't want to shit on Dwayne Haskins yet.
I'm just saying,
he hasn't done anything in NFL yet.
In terms of work ethic, that's all I'm saying.
Agreed, but what are we saying with Dwayne Haskins right now?
I haven't heard a word.
And he worked himself up to second string.
He's in an organization that
isn't he third string behind?
No, he moved himself up to second string. That's what I'm saying. Don't shit on Dwayne. It looks like it finally caught for him. The only thing
I'm just bringing up the fact that he has not done anything. yet.
I'm attacking Ryan with you.
I'm shitting on him. I'll take full responsibility for the shitting on.
I'm just saying, it looks like he might be the next anointed Steelers quarterback after fucking Ben, and that's a big goddamn deal. He might just be. I'm not saying anything is grounded in fact, or just it's gonna happen.
Right, let me ask you this question. All right, so the Steelers play this year. Dwayne Haskins looks good as a backup, right? Ben goes down for one game. Dwayne comes in, wins the game. 18 for 25, 250, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Okay. And he plays well. Steelers make the playoffs. All that. Ben retires. Do you give Dwayne Haskins like a starter QB deal, or do you draft a rookie?
That's not Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's not that guy. Mike Tomlin's gonna say, Dwayne, you got a competition, and we expect that you are gonna go out on top of this competition because you've had more reps than any of these other guys. But we're going to hold this training camp this exact same way. If there's one thing the Steelers organization doesn't do is get involved in the political bullshit as far as we've spent this much on this guy, so we have to play this guy. They never do that.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. Ben's retired.
Yeah.
Dwayne Haskins would be a free agent after this year, I believe. Right?
You'd re-sign him.
So re-sign him for what? That's my question.
Deal.
Yeah, you're not getting, even if Dwayne comes in there and does that, there's going to be a market for it. So we're going to see exactly where the market's at, and you're going to sign him. But I don't think you're going to sign him if he comes in on a one-thing deal. There's not right now. All you have on Game Tank is game tape. He had a terrible run of Washington. He was a high draft pick. He came in and had an okay performance for us, and we went on to go to the playoffs. But we also had a playoff team already, right? So if that's the situation, what you do is you try to say, all right, this is where you come and you bring him in for another, I'd say, 1 to 2 year deal, maybe. And if he's not willing to do that, you let him walk.
Okay.
Yeah, you're never bringing in a player on a big deal because he just slots in well. You're looking for a player to make you better, and I just don't think Dwayne's that guy yet. So.
I don't see the market around the NFL saying that we need to pay this man Kirk Cousins dollars because he had one good game.
Yeah, and Kirk Cousins can't even go to the hospital anymore that he's worked so much with. So it's really sad.
One thing we didn't bring up was Trae Young re-signing with the Hawks.
Yeah, Shad Moss needs him to go to the strip club with him. I thought that's why he re-signed. Am I wrong here? Did I read the wrong?
Yeah,
I must have used the wrong Twitter account. My bad.
Okay.
Filthy fucking lollipop.
All right. So to finish off the
he's got hair implant money now though. So watch out.
His hair is
that might be his trademark. Like Anthony Davis has the unibrow, Trae just has the hair.
It's not good either way.
He's like he's got like the hair. What do I want to say? He looks like a baby.
Yeah, it's a newborn. He's got baby hair. He's got a newborn's hair.
He's got baby hair, and it covers a grown man's head. So it's
you ever seen like it's like fuck? Is it
It's never gonna be better than that fucking lollipop that like rolled on the floor.
Yeah,
that's what he looks like.
He looks like
he embraces it.
A baby lion cub that has just been licked by his mother and just has like a little tuft.
He was actually dope when I was watching on The Shop uninterrupted. He was dope on that. He likes being the villain, like I've been saying.
Him being in the league makes the league better.
And Chase Young was also there, and Chase Young better be the face of the NFL soon.
Oh,
Chase
Young stays one of my favorite players.
Okay.
Yes, he will. Chase Young's fantastic.
No. All right. So also in regards to the NBA, so we could talk about the Lakers deals. Like they got a bunch of players.
They're statistically the oldest team ever.
It's everybody just essentially just chasing the ring.
Yeah. Oh, and as an aside for that,
there was another team that.
No, they have officially the oldest roster, oldest average age. They're the oldest roster in the history of the NBA.
Oh, yeah. Like I was thinking about the starting five.
And so, Melo's the oldest person on that team.
Oh, Ben Simmons, if you're watching this, Melo actually had a pretty good workout video on Instagram. You can learn something.
And everybody knows I'm a huge Syracuse guy.
Workout videos and just work.
I'm a huge Syracuse guy, so I love Melo. I've never rooted for the Lakers, not one fucking second of my life. It's gonna be really hard for me not to root for them this year because I want Melo to get his one. And I want Russ to get one. I'm going to be really torn during this season.
I'm in the same fucking boat. I can't stand the Lakers organization. I love LeBron. I won't root for him while he's wearing the purple and gold. But Russ, Melo, there's a part of me that'll always root for the over the hill gang. Like, just let's do it one more time, guys.
Although, remember when we saw
when they had Karl Malone and fucking Gary Payton.
This feels a little bit different.
Yeah,
they're more likable. They're also a lot more likable than those guys.
This is a last hurrah for Carmelo.
You can't like Karl Malone.
No, you can't like Karl Malone. I couldn't like Kobe, and I couldn't like fucking
I can like Kobe.
You know how I feel. And then Gary, I always look.
I love Gary.
Yeah, I love Gary. Well, you remember the Last Dance bit. Mike laughing. I've never had problems. It's like, all right, Gary, you thought Gary, you were this. You're not.
The shit that Gary Payton would talk shit, like set up the offense and still be talking to you while he's doing it. I fucking love it.
But it looks like there were some guys who just didn't give a shit. Like he might have had stories and they're like, oh, I played Peyton. Oh,
wait, he was on the court.
The glove?
I can see Gary's like sitting around his grandkid. You want to hear about this time I shut down Mike? And Mike's like, nigga, I don't even know you exist.
And that's not even true.
But Mike's just hateful like that.
Yeah, Mike's just a hateful.
All right. So there is one more thing for the NBA aspect of it, and that is the Kyle Lowry and Lonzo Ball deals are now being investigated for tampering. That just came out like a little while ago, like right before we started potting.
Yeah.
And I mean, the basis of it was that these type of deals are very complicated, and for it to be done so soon, it's like some had to have happened, but you know.
We literally had a situation.
It also said that these investigations, the NBA executives can be randomly audited, like their phones, messages, emails, all that shit at any time.
They're not doing it themselves.
So,
that'll be cool.
We literally just talked last week about how Russ, AD, and LeBron met at LeBron's house and talked all about getting on the same team. The NBA doesn't give a shit unless you're a small market team and you're showing them up. They don't care unless you're a mid-level or small market team. They do not give a shit.
I think it's the players can do tampering. Players can do tampering, possibly.
They are cherry picking everything. There's no chance the Russell Westbrook deal isn't LeBron getting on the phone with the front office in LA saying, Russ wants to be here, make it happen, go call. Of course, but you think the league's going to do anything to stop that? Absolutely not. Because the name's involved and the teams and the organization's involved.
I mean, no, because they did that before. I don't think that's the reason why.
Yeah, name big organization to be caught as far as the tampering stuff.
Yeah, the Lakers. But I don't know. No, I don't know if that was tampering. I don't remember why that deal never went through. But the Chris Paul deal.
That was a lot of politics. That was a lot of politics outside of anything with tampering. That wasn't a tampering thing.
Okay.
That was basically the league saying that was the league saying if Chris Paul goes to this team, we think it's unfair. So let's do what we can to stop it. That's what happened back then. But the league does not care about tampering unless you're a mid-level market team. That's when they care because they want to whip the fucking organizations into place. They already know they got players that have enough gravitas that they can't do anything to, and outside of the players that have that much, there are some organizations that have too much. LA, Boston, you're not fuck with them.
All right, so let's see what happens from that. It's a developing story. Just came out today, so let's see what they find. Probably nothing, but who knows? All right. Last night, USA men's basketball team beat France in the gold medal game to win gold. Even after all the shit that was given over the past, couple weeks, just based on their performances and how they haven't blown teams out or haven't won every game by a certain amount of points. I kind of understand it. Ryan, here's why. To bring it back to another sport I love, the way Barcelona plays. If we play a game and we don't have 60+% possession, people will be pissed off. You know that, right? Okay, so it's kind of like the same thing here. If USA men's basketball team doesn't beat a team by 20, people are like, the fuck are y'all doing? So, I mean, same correlation, it is what it is. But they won gold. So, at the end of the day, they fucking won. What?
There are stars on a bunch of the other international teams.
Yep.
I'm not going to take that away from them. And I will say that USA probably didn't put out their full A squad. Very, very good team. That being said, we should be hands down the most dominant team in the world.
Yeah,
in basketball. In basketball. We will never be a dominant team in soccer. We will never be a dominant team in doubles badminton. It's just not what we do. We should be, or tennis, men's tennis. It's just not going to happen. We had that one guy who was the Lacoste guy like 20 years ago. Is it Andy Murray? No. What was his name? I can't even remember. Huh?
Andy Roddick?
That guy, the Lacoste guy. He was pretty good. We're never going to be the best in men's singles.
Andy Roddick's the Lacoste guy. That's funny.
We should be the best at professional basketballs. And we have gone so far away from what the game really means, Steph Curry, in terms of playing the game of basketball, in terms of playing as a team, and these garbage fouls being called. And it didn't take very long for the U.S. team to kind of figure their way around it. It did take them a little bit. But could you imagine if they just played real basketball all the time? We would have won every game by 30. It's really upsetting. It was even the game against France. The U.S. was up by like 15, and then they were just like, "Yeah, we're not going to play." And then it was a 2-point game all of a sudden.
Yeah, France.
It's just.
I think they started the game 1 for 9 from 3.
It just wasn't. It's not good basketball to watch. It's not. I don't know. It's upsetting to me to watch it because I remember when we were winning every game by 30 points.
Yeah.
And I don't know that the talent the talent level hasn't gone down. We have KD on that team. Like,
I mean, filling out the roster, filling out like the talent from the top to bottom is worse than it was back then also. And then you look at the talent on the other teams, the talent from top to bottom has gotten a lot better. Right, but the disparity is still like this. It shouldn't be close.
All right, let me get up in there. I've been on the pod. I've been predicting nonstop that USA was not going to win gold. Here's what I will say: they deserve congratulations. KD played his heart out. Greg, the rest of those guys, they did what they could do to make the adjustments because things did not look great at the very beginning of this thing. And no, I do not take it for granted like other people did in the sense of like, oh, they're just going to get it back together. France made an interesting game there at the end, okay? And they earned that. U.S. earned that gold. Now, that being said, U.S. not winning gold is not winning gold is not, I don't think, any longer a guarantee. We slipped up once in 2004, ever since we started bringing the stars in. And now you have a situation right now where I'm actually legitimately thinking that if we continue to play the way that we are, if the top guys don't want to go, the rest of the field is catching up. Mm-hmm. And the way that they play internationally, which is something that I'm for, and even Keem in his final thought, I've been echoing that more than anybody, is that I don't like the way that American basketball is played anymore, especially when compared to sometimes when I see the international game. And even see Keem said on his final thought, I think last week, that he wishes more of the international rules and things got implemented in the NBA. And I'm all for it. As somebody who constantly criticizes, as much as I love Steph Curry and what he's capable of doing, I hate the way the basketball is played nowadays. And these guys don't understand physical basketball as much as it used to be the case. And the rest of these, look, man, the league is catching up. If you're looking across, they're having debates on whether or not Luka Doncic should be allowed to be the face of the NBA, right? Which I think is a bullshit thing. But the fact that that even is a discussion now shows you the international game. If you look across, the MVP is Giannis, a Greekman. Right, like we're
Jokic,
huh? Oh, sorry, not Finals MVP.
Okay,
both the MVPs this year were from overseas.
Like, all right, people, look across the landscape. It ain't a guarantee anymore.
Every year now.
Now here's the thing. But here's the thing: with the amount of money that is in the NBA, it shouldn't be close. If we knew how to focus the game right, but I think the NBA and the way that we play over here is just getting further and further apart. And if we're going to go play on their turf with their way, it ain't going to come as natural. Even though one would think because of basketball and because of how much we're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars in this NBA or tens of billions of dollars in the NBA, it shouldn't be close, which is why you saw that we ran through everybody after they decided we're not just putting college athletes on these teams back in the 80s. And we saw the dream team. We saw everything else. 2004, they slipped up. KD, I think, goes down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest basketball player that we've had to send over there. Not in the sense of like where he's basketball, but just international play. I've loved it. He's the man. And they did get they got it right and they won gold. It's deserving. If it was 10 years ago and they had struggled like this, I would have had a lot more smoke for him.
Yeah.
But right now you can see the game is just so different than it used to be.
Just look at the draft this year too. And how many players are foreign, and then if you look at the projections for next year, how many players are foreign?
You cannot take it for granted. I think my prediction was not way off. I don't want to hear anybody tell me that I was way off.
About what?
You were way off.
About U.S. not getting gold.
No, I mean, it was definitely a possibility.
That's my thing, is that I don't want to hear anybody who wants to start fucking dunking on me about that shit. Okay. Fair enough. I was wrong.
Nobody is.
I'm very specifically talking to 3 people right now that I know are watching this. You might want to dunk on me right now, and I get it, but just know I wasn't that fucking far off. I'm admitting I was wrong, but I'm not that far off.
I'm lucky. I'm not.
Another podcast.
I'm not tall enough to dunk.
All right.
The thing was, I was trolling all last night. I wouldn't stop. I was just like, Team USA, you don't get credit for doing what you're supposed to fucking do. Fuck these guys. And then I went off and I made a quote, which I think if Vince Lombardi hadn't said it, he should say it, which is just, to win when you're expected is never enough. One must beat the underdog in a submission and have your opponent crying uncle. Fuck final scores. Destroy them. Make them feel it. I'd like to think Vince Lombardi would say that. He didn't at all. I made it up.
No. All right. So let's go to our last topic for the day. Speaking of Vince Lombardi, let's go to his sport, football. A big deal happened, and Josh Allen, what was it, 6 years, 258?
Yeah, 150 guaranteed, 258 with incentives. His vaccination status aside, he's one of the most exciting quarterbacks to watch. I don't think there's anybody who would disagree with that. His upside is his progression from year 1 to year 3 was, I mean, he looked like a dud coming out the gate.
Did you sell the card?
No.
Good.
No. My collection of Josh Allen cards I could buy a lot of things that I wanted to buy, but I can't because his ceiling is very high.
Yeah.
And Bills fans are crazy, just crazy individuals. I hope he's available this year. I realize that everybody's vaccination says it's your deal, just do it. But I hope, if he's available and Cole Beasley is not, we're still a very good team. We have a dirty receiving core. We have to stop the run, but the quarterback's the hardest position to play in the NFL. And when you get a good one, keep him. Right?
Oddly enough, I just thought about something. Can you imagine how the vaccination status of players is going to affect fantasy football now?
Yeah, we've already added extra IL spots like we did last year.
Oh, not even that part. Not even that part. Just based on who you pick.
Because it's
if
gonna be huge.
If you are quote unquote vaccinated, and you're considered like a high risk contact, the amount of time that you have to stay away is a lot shorter compared to if you weren't vaccinated.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge.
I'm not saying that it shouldn't be that way. But I'm saying in terms of like if you're picking, like you have a choice between Kirk Cousins and fucking Jameis Winston.
It's another element to the game, but I mean that's fantasy football every year. Whether or not you're looking at who's holding out because of a contract issue, who's injuries, more liable to get hurt, or last year COVID was just a thing, and we had to be concerned as far as that goes. Fantasy football, no excuses. Just next season.
Yep. All right.
The Josh Allen thing, I will say we're about to reach a really crazy period as far as quarterback contracts go. I mean, we're already there, but
I mean, they gave that guy in Kansas City $500 million.
But see, this is the thing with the Kansas City deal. The thing with the Kansas City deal and the 10-year thing, which is something that I will give Kansas City a lot of respect for, is the fact that they've made it so that at least they can plan without completely breaking the bank for the rest of their for the way that the contract itself is shaped up. So they're able to take into account. It's a long bet in saying Patrick Mahomes is going to be our guy for this long, but what it also does is take into account other quarterbacks are going to get paid ungodly amounts of money. At least we have something that we can bet on going forward, and you might start seeing some of that stuff happen. If I'm Buffalo, do I pay that much for Josh Allen just yet? I don't know, but I also don't know exactly what the market's going to look like in a year or two.
If you think about it, 6 years, $150 million guaranteed. In 2 years from now, sounds to me a little cheap, right?
I don't know.
That $258 million sounds steep, but that's stuff that doesn't affect your bottom line, right? The $150 million guaranteed will affect it. That's not a whole lot of money if you are an elite quarterback, which Josh Allen looks like he's going to be an elite quarterback. But it also, three years from now, 50 million, 60, 70 million doesn't sound out of the realm of possible per year for an elite quarterback. So if you can lock him up now, not worry about it down the road. Could you imagine if we put this off another year and I don't know, Tua Tagovailoa has a fucking, or Lamar Jackson has like an undefeated season, man, that price tag is going to go way up. So it makes the fans happy. It makes Josh Allen happy, makes the team happy. And again,
Lamar Jackson will get paid more.
6 years, we're looking 6 years down the line, right? That's 6 years that we know exactly how much we're going to be paying Josh Allen. And we can put pieces around him and not worry about it.
The contract's going to be adjusted before that gets to that point anyway.
It can be, but at least you know what you can plan for and going from there.
And look, I feel like there's disgruntled people, in every organization that want to get paid more. I get that. But when you have a guy like Josh Allen, who the fan base loves, like when his grandma, passed away at the hospital, they all
$17.
The fans donated 17. Like there's a different, I think, connection there.
Mm-hmm. I just think that's the Bills Mafia in general.
Yeah,
like, I really fuck with your fan base.
It makes you as a player want to be there. And I think if you lock somebody up for that amount of time, I don't think year 3 or 4, they're going to be like, oh, fuck, I really want that extra $6 million. They're going to be like, well, I really enjoy being here because I don't get yelled at for being unvaccinated unless I'm Cole Beasley. It's just like a really comfortable place for them to be. So I obviously love it. I can't imagine he doesn't play up to that contract.
I just know that contract's going to look really nice when the organization moves to Austin, Texas, and you got to pay no goddamn income tax.
I'm going to be so fucking mad.
All right. So, KDot, why'd you smile when I said
that? I was smiling because of that. I know Buffalo Bills might not be the Buffalo Bills. Not to mention, my girlfriend actually pointed this out the other day. She was like, I was saying, I was laughing about the fact that I sent the text about Buffalo the Bills moving to Austin. She's like, they're the Buffalo Bills? I was like, yeah. It's like, isn't that serial killer guy in Silence of the Lambs? So now every time I think about the organization, I think about a guy stuffing his cock down and doing a dance in the mirror.
What the fuck? Okay. All right. So let's move on.
It puts the lotion on the skin. Let's
do final thoughts, please. All right. All right, I'll go first. Jesus Christ. All right, so my final thought.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
Put the fucking lotion on.
Put the fucking lotion on.
Congratulations to Coach Flores and Charles Woodson on getting to the Hall of Fame. It's been a long time coming for Flores, or Coach Flores. Charles Woodson, everybody expected him to be in first ballot. That is what it is. Congrats, GOAT. Now, Tom Flores, I've been talking about that forever. I call him GOAT. So
okay.
Yeah.
GOAT of what?
Huh?
What's he the GOAT of?
GOAT of defensive backs to me.
Okay.
That's what I call him.
Just want a clarification.
I know. It's fine. I'll say it. I'll down that hill. It's cool.
I'm not attacking you.
No, it's fine.
I think it speaks for itself.
I understand if somebody did attack me. Like, I would understand it.
Everyone who's listening, your opportunity right now to do what we're all doing, which is internally attacking James. Let it go.
Go ahead. Write it in the comments, please. Make a comment. I will respond.
Oh yeah, he will.
All the responding.
2 accounts.
Oh, true. Yeah.
You're gonna get smoke from every direction: east, west, north, south.
I'm with it. I'm with the smoke. All right. But yeah, I've been banging on the table forever for Coach Flores getting Hall of Fame. He's in. Cool. Congrats. It was great to see him put the jacket on, see tears flowing, his and mine. It was great. Now we got to get Cliff Branch.
I think like episode 2, you were talking about Hall of Fame, and you're pounding the table for.
Yeah, but now Cliff Branch needs to be in, because they put in Drew Pearson, respect to him, but at the same time, no way he gets in before Cliff Branch. It's annoying the fuck out of me every time.
Fair.
Go ahead.
And speaking of the Hall of Fame, I think my favorite takeaway was that when Peyton goes in, Tom Brady said he needs to be in his suite to make sure that fucker's actually retired.
He's like, I gotta make sure he's not.
He's like, back. I want to sit there and make sure. I want to make sure that fuck's actually retiring. Dude,
I left the note.
Tampa Tom Brady is elite Tom Brady. I will hear nothing else. I hated that man for 20 years. I love him now. I love him so much.
He's always been that guy.
He had to be. I mean, he was so cold and.
No, it was the surface level. I'm telling you, Tom has always been this guy. It's just what the organization needed him to be, and that's why he is the greatest quarterback of all time. He knows what the team needs, and he's not going to rock the boat unless it's completely necessary, like when Jimmy Garoppolo was on his back. All right, but my final thought would be last week on the pod, I mentioned that I am now a Formula One fan, which I am. I'm still waiting for that $160 McLaren hoodie because that's my team. But the first race out the gate of me supporting the McLaren team, my guy, my driver number 1, even though in McLaren there are no driver number 1 and number 2. So, I mean, Daniel Ricciardo as well as Lando Norris are both stellar drivers. But Lando, unfortunately, got taken out with the bullshit the entire board Bottas has decided to do on the first lap of the goddamn race. If you're a Red Bull fan, I understand you being completely upset. I also understand that there's a certain level of Bottas might not even be in a seat. No, he'll definitely be in a seat next year, but he might not be in that Mercedes seat next year, which could be some good vindication. Maybe one of those lower play. Maybe Haas needs a driver to go with Mick Schumacher. I'm just saying. Even though I think Mick's the only one without point. No, I don't think they're both not doing much at all. If anything, I don't think. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm still McLaren guy. McLaren number 1. Any of the drama which I heard a little bit about in the sense of Alonso and Hamilton and Alonso blocking Hamilton, that was just good fucking racing. Anybody that's complaining about any of that shit because Hamilton didn't end up winning the entire race.
They're just Hamilton fans, bro.
I get it, but that's the thing is that you even see Hamilton afterwards was like, that's how racing should be. Like it was just a good, solid race, and
they have a certain amount of respect between each other,
as Alonso, they should. Alonso was the guy when Hamilton was coming in.
Alonso was like, he's like, I did that, and I had to do it for Max because I knew it was important for Max. And then Max walks by and he's like, yeah. And then your guy Lando was doing an interview and he was like, yeah, it was Bottas's fault. And then Bottas was walking up to him.
I saw.
And he's like, oh, shit, he's behind me. He's like, I'm sorry, bro.
But it ain't I think Lando commented afterwards because Lando still wanted to pop that motherfucker in the head. Even though don't fight Bottas. He's a psycho.
Yeah.
He'll chop you into bits and bury you in his backyard.
I really do think so.
Which is spacious.
But I also, on that note, if I'm Mercedes, I don't know if I make the move from Bottas to what's his name? That's in the Williams.
George Russell?
To George Russell. I don't know. I just think in order to be, even though everyone's kind of scared that Bottas is going to kill somebody with an axe, there is a certain mentality you have to have, even if it's painful, to be Lewis Hamilton's partner. And I think you're going to need somebody who is more quiet, reserved, and just ready to do the job and psychopathically trying to kill fucking McLaren and Red Bull drivers on the goddamn first lap of the race.
Watch your break lines.
Like Bottas and Hamilton have had their issues.
Of course, but that's like, anybody, right?
It's like, oh yeah, we like team rules. We need to make the switch, and he's like,
but there's certain. Can you imagine Ricardo and Lewis on the same team?
Yeah, they're more friendly than Bottas and Hamilton. I mean, Bottas
isn't friendly with anybody, but I'm saying that, like, can you imagine this? I know Bottas wants to win. Everyone wants to win. You're not a Formula 1 driver unless you want to win. Right. But there's got to be a certain reserve you have to eat on it, to just eat it, and deal most week in and week out, where I think most of these other guys would try to push it. You get in that Mercedes, you're going to push it.
To a certain point. Like,
I mean, you shouldn't be able to because it's Lewis and it's Toto, and I mean, you're not going to get on their bad side, but
yeah. Coolest
name ever, Toto Wolff. Just throwing it out there.
Hey,
Toto's a good name for a secondary player. This is a Michael Jackson reference. Anyway,
I got it.
I'm hip. From like 1992.
Mm-hmm. I ain't catch it back. I got you.
From my final thought, it's a twofer. For the first time since May the 8th, the Mets are not in first place in the NL East anymore. I've been saying this for months. It's like an elephant on top of a telephone pole. We don't know how it got up there, but it ain't staying. And then second thoughts, Arsenal's top of the table right now because our name starts with an A and an R, which puts us at the top of the table before the season starts. Stop the count. We won. It's over. It's over. I mean, my lifetime of sports disappointment continues. I know that James knows what I'm talking about. I think between us, we have one championship each in the last. Well, I'm almost 33, so last 32 and 3/4 years. Yeah, it's just, being a fan really sucks. I only have the Caps. It's the only championship I have. How many do you have? Just Dallas, the one.
Well, the Giants, when I was supporting them, we had 12, 14, 16.
Well, we'll ignore that for the time being. We'll say we both have one each between us.
Or we have 5 now.
5 now. That makes it feels better. There we go. It's just being a fan sucks. I
feel.
You doing,
KDot?
I feel.
I mean, are we counting Barcelona too, or no?
No, that doesn't count.
Okay. Because
I'm just saying, I feel for all the fans of like mediocre teams out there who've been mediocre for a long time. It really sucks. I was trying to, camaraderie, but fuck both of you.
No, I mean, you used to have one as a Washington fan, but you got rid of that.
Yeah. I mean, you got to take your lumps where you get them. And also, wasn't that 88?
No, the last one's 91.
I mean, I was 3.
They were in the Super Bowl. What was it, 89?
87.
Yeah, 87, 88 season.
Because we played y'all in the Super Bowl.
I know. Marcus Allen. That was earlier. That was like 82, 81, 82,
in fact,
83.
The Bills lost to Washington.
I don't think it was.
We beat Miami, and I think the following year is when you guys beat the Breaks office. 87.
84.
84. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was like after, then 87, we beat the shit out of Denver.
Thank you. It's fuck Denver.
Just for you.
Appreciate you.
Well, I guess we're counting Formula 1. McLaren has a lot, so maybe in my lifetime I've
had. We lost. But
you just gotta watch all the races over and be
the
like,
Bills lost to Washington in 91, right?
Yeah, your guys' 4th consecutive.
That's crazy. I'm sorry, bro.
Quick question, James. Do you have a team in Formula 1 you root for?
Mercedes.
Should have known it. And with that,
if you didn't know, now you know because he told you.
Yeah,
front running cock.
No, I fuck with Lewis.
And if you didn't know
everyone fucks with Lewis, it doesn't count.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, what am I supposed to do?
It doesn't count. If
Lewis was on fucking Haas,
it'd be one thing if you're like, if I really do want to root for Haas. All right.
I can't. Like, what about Williams then? They're the only American team on there.
No, I mean Haas is. What do you mean Williams? Nobody's rooting for fucking Williams. Fucking rooting for Williams.
If you're not rooting for Daniel Ricciardo,
what about Force India?
Now you know, because I told you.
Force India, from a prison, from exile.
They turned into something else. I forgot what they turned into.
They turned Force India turned into Racing Point, and Racing Point Racing Point is no longer. Racing Point is Aston Martin.
Aston Martin, yeah, Vettel,
Sebastian Vettel, and Lance Stroll.
Oh yeah, it is Lance Stroll.
I know my Formula One shit, cocksucker. I'm in.
Yeah, because you've been watching the F1 show on Netflix. Like
I'm finishing. I watched season 3, season 1, and I got one episode that I'm about to go watch right now. Season 2. I'm on the last one. All right, whatever. Formula One is the shit. Succession is the best show on TV. If you didn't know, now you know, because I told you other Rick and Morty. Peace.